What's up, Dobbinites, Dob Marleys? Today I'm going to go over, week three, what I think and predict that receivers and running backs will do this week. Last week I was 27 for 60 on my regular, like how many yards people will get. Top five, I went 2 for 5. Terrible. Just awful. Spider, I was close, 6 of 8, and that's actually one that I flexed and actually did well on. And then the crazy one went 4 for 8, which isn't too bad. Overall, not too bad. 27-60, a little bit less, 50%, but not too bad. It's hard to predict these on DraftKings. I actually won 2 of my 4 lineups. Sorry, DK. 2 of 4 of my lineups. My best was Caleb Williams, Christian McCaffrey, Jahmyr Gibbs, DJ Moore, Ricky Pearsall, Rome Odunze, Jonnu Smith, James Cook, and Denver Stevens with a total of 149.88 points. The winner had Russell Wilson, Jonathan Taylor, Travis Etienne, Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors, Amon-Ra, Theo Johnson, Rome Odunze, and Andy's D for a total of 249.30 points. Usually that's a bit high for DK, so I think he ended up winning by like 10 or so points. I think the average is like the winner, like 225, like I said, for DK, but whatever. So we'll get into it. First game, Jets-Bucks. I think Garrett Wilson will go over for 68 receiving yards plus. Breece Hall will go for 21 plus receiving. Tyler Johnson will go for 22 plus receiving in a little revenge game against the Bucks. Bucky Irving will go for 70 plus rushing yards, even with all of those injuries at offensive line, and 18 plus yards receiving. For Texans and Jaguars, I think Nico Collins will go for 69 plus yards receiving. Woody Marks will go for 18 yards plus rushing. Jaden Higgins will go for 15 plus yards receiving. Travis Hunter will go for 38 plus yards receiving. Travis Etienne will go for 56 plus rush. Bashul Tutin will go for 6 plus yards receiving. They used him a little bit last week, which I'm surprised by. I think they'll use him again. For the Rams and Eagles, I think Puka Nacua will go over 88 plus receiving yards, Devontae Adams for 64 plus receiving yards, and Jordan Whittington for 14 plus receiving yards. Rams will get pass happy, maybe play from behind. I don't know. This game will be fun to watch, just like the conference championship game last year rematch. AJ Brown will go for 61 plus yards receiving. Devontae Smith will go for 50 plus yards receiving, and Saquon Barkley will go for 15 plus yards receiving. For the Packers and Browns, I think Romeo Doubs will get 48 plus yards receiving. Josh Jacobs will get 75 plus yards rushing, and Matthew Golden will get 35 plus yards receiving. Matthew Golden is kind of my sneaky pick this year, or sneaky pick for this week. I think he's going to do really well. Cedric Tillman will go for 40 plus yards receiving, and Harold Fannin Jr. will get his 34 plus yards receiving. Steelers Patriots, I think DK Metcalf will go for 61 plus yards receiving. Calvin Austin will go for 38 plus yards receiving, and Jonnu Smith will go for 30 plus yards receiving. On the Patriots side, I don't have good luck with this, but Stephon Diggs, 42 plus yards receiving. Travion Henderson, 17 plus yards receiving. Ramondre Stevenson, 45 plus rushing. If Ramondre Stevenson, gets on the field more like last week, he'll definitely get that 45 plus yards rush. The Colts and Titans, I think Jonathan Taylor will get 89 plus yards rushing. Josh Downs, 42 plus yards receiving. Tyler Warren, 47 plus yards receiving. And Alec Pierce snuck him in there, 25 plus yards receiving, probably one long bomb that he usually gets. Titans, I think Elik Ayumaner will get 36 plus yards receiving. Hopefully I said that well. And Tyler Lockett, 12 plus receiving yards. Still don't have good luck with Tyler Lockett. I'm waiting for him to come out. He will, eventually. Watch. Falcons and Panthers, Darnell Mooney, I think, is going to go for 42 plus yards receiving. Bijan Robinson for 25 plus yards receiving. And Bijan Robinson for 82 plus yards rushing. I think a 100-yard rush game is pretty confident in Bijan getting that. Chuba Hubbard will get 17 plus yards receiving. They're still not respecting his receiving yardage, and he's hit every single week. I think he's going to continue to do that. Ted McMillan, 64 plus yards receiving. The Bengals Vikings, Chase Brown will go for 69 plus rushing. Jamar Chase will get 70 plus receiving with his 20 plus targets that he's probably going to get. And Chase Brown will go for 14 plus yards receiving. On the other side, Vikings, I think Jordan Mason will get 80 plus yards rushing. Justin Jefferson will finally break out, have his 76 plus yards receiving. TJ Hawkinson will get 36 plus yards receiving, and Jordan Mason will get 15 plus in receiving yards. Carson Wentz, is going to play this weekend over JJ McCarthy, because JJ McCarthy not looking too well, but also he got injured. And I think this might be a situation in which Carson Wentz might be the starter going forward. We'll talk about it on Monday, see what my buddy thinks. Raiders and Redskins, Ashton Jeanty, 58 plus yards rushing. Brock Bowers, 55 plus receiving yards, and Ashton Jeanty, 13 plus receiving yards. Weirdly, I think Deebo Samuel will get 4 plus rushing yards in this game. Terry McLaurin will get 50 plus receiving yards, and Deebo Samuel will get 46 plus receiving yards to go on top of the rush. Broncos and Chargers, Cortland Sutton will go for 58 plus receiving yards. Troy Franklin will go for 42 plus receiving yards. On the other side, Ladrick McConkey will go for 67 plus receiving yards. J.K. Dobbins will go for 47 plus rushing yards. And I think they'll still run it and still get R.J. Harvey to go for 24 plus rushing yards. Saints versus Seahawks, I think Alvin Kamara will go for 55 plus rushing, plus 23 yards receiving plus, and Brandon Cooks will go for 15 plus receiving yards. That's another one that they keep on slacking on. I think Brandon Cooks will consistently get over 15 yards plus receiving. JSN will go for 75 plus yards receiving, and Cooper Kupp will go for 42 plus yards receiving. Cowboys and Bears, CeeDee Lamb, I think, will go for 82 plus yards receiving. Kavonte Turpin is kind of my sneaky pick this week as well. I think he'll get 23 plus yards receiving, probably more. On the other side, Colston Loveland, I think, will finally have his have a game where he has more than one reception. But I think he's going to get 17 plus receiving yards. Rome Odunze, 63 plus receiving yards, and Caleb Williams will rush for 26 plus yards. And the final game for the 1 and 4 p.m. games, 1 and 4 p.m. games is Cardinals and 49ers. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. will go for 48 plus receiving yards. James Conner will get 50 plus rushing yards. On the other side, Ricky Pearsall will get 61 plus receiving yards. Jawan Jennings, 49 plus receiving yards. And Christian McCaffrey, 71 plus rushing yards. Top 5 this week got Matthew Golden at 35 plus receiving yards. Bijan Robinson at 82 plus rushing yards, Justin Jefferson at 78 plus receiving yards, Kavonte Turpin at 23 plus receiving yards, and Brock Bowers for 55 plus receiving yards, coming out to a total of 2,282 points. Wink. On the Spider, I have Garrett Wilson going for 68 plus receiving yards, Jaden Higgins going for 15 plus receiving yards, Jordan Whittington going for 15 plus receiving yards, Matthew Golden going for 35 plus receiving yards, Bijan Robinson going for 82 plus rushing yards, Justin Jefferson going for 78 plus receiving yards, Brock Bowers going for 55 plus receiving yards, and Kavonte Turpin going for 23 plus receiving yards, for a total of 15,792 points. Wink. My crazy lineup this week, I got Garrett Wilson going for 80 plus receiving yards, Nico Collins going for 80 plus receiving yards, Matthew Golden going for 40 plus receiving yards, Tyler Warren going for 50 plus receiving yards, Bijan Robinson going for 100 plus rushing yards, Justin Jefferson going for 80 plus receiving yards, Brock Bowers going for 65 plus receiving yards, and Cortland Sutton going for 65 plus receiving yards, for a total of 79,345 points. And then finally in DK, my 2 lineups, I usually tell you guys, one of them is going with last week, Caleb Williams, Bijan Robinson, Jordan Mason, JSN, Garrett Wilson, Rome Odunze, Jawan Johnson, Alvin Kamara, and Texans defense. And then sticking with my bare minimum, I went with Carson Wentz at quarterback, Bucky Irving, Kenneth Walker, Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, Matthew Golden, TJ Hawkinson, Bijan Robinson, and Patriots defense. Those are our predictions for week 3. Let us know what you think in the comments. Let us know if you want us to talk about anything. I think we'll talk about the Carson Wentz thing. We'll have to obviously see what goes on in this week for the Vikings matchup. See if they work better with Carson Wentz. I think they will. Let me know if you have any comments. Let us know if you want us to talk about anything. You'll have a great day. Bear down.